Hi, this is Sherry Veronica. The High Altitude Research Project, known as HARP, entered Barbados 1962 to 1967. They experimented on this particular gun, a super gun, a space gun, for 5 years in Barbados. The High Altitude Project was a space gun set up at Paragon, just to the east of the runway of the then Sewell Airport. It's called the Grantley Adams International Airport now. But that was the brainchild of Canadian ballistics scientist Gerald Bull, and it was funded by McGill University, Canada, and the U.S. Army Research and Development Center. This large project was established to shoot things into space. It landed in Foul Bay in St. Philip. It was originally built from a 65-foot long, 16-inch caliber naval cannon, the kind that can be seen on a battleship, and that is probably where Bull should have had this project established, out in the ocean on a battleship. But let's continue. The cannon was later joined to another barrel, extending the length of this super gun to 120 feet and making it too big for effective military application, but perfect for satellite delivery. It was a serious attempt to use low-cost cannons in place of expensive rockets to launch satellites into space. But there's another side of this particular coin. Some would say that Bull was trying to find out if there was a ceiling to the earth. Some people will call it a firmament, because as you can see, when they send satellites into space, they go up, 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 and they veer off. They don't go up and disappear, they veer off. So was he testing to see how far up the ceiling is? Are humans on the earth? Are we trapped here? Is this a building? Is the earth a building? Do you actually get out of the earth? That is what some people would say that he was trying to find out. This HARP gun arrived in Barbados by a U.S. Navy landing craft and came ashore in Foul Bay Beach in 1962. It was mounted on a large train and carried to the sitting point where it sits now. It is rotten right now. There's a remnant of the HARP gun still at Paragon, and it's rotten. It's in a state of decay. But you can go and you can look at this thing that made Barbados part of its history. When that gun was fired into space, a notice went out on Radio Fusion. That was a radio station in Barbados. Probably the only one you had back then. But a news warning went out to people telling you not to go out. Do not go out. And when the gun was fired, almost the whole island shook. People reported how their houses were damaged, especially the ones in St. Philip and Christchurch. Their homes suffered a whole lot of damage, but it was felt throughout the island. Like I said, maybe this gun should have been mounted to on a craft in the ocean. Those craft that carry battleship craft out in the ocean. That's what they have now. Probably didn't have it then, but it should have been there. And you can see what is now happening with Elon Musk. He has set up his particular satellite station in Cape Canaveral in Florida, another place that could have been housed by this particular project from Gerald Bull. Gerald Bull shot this thing around. He shot this project around to different countries. But leaders of the countries knew that there was a fallout from having this particular experimentation go on in their country. There could have been, you know what this called, when things fall back to earth, it can cause a lot of damage. It can kill people. They said that it's not, maybe not true, but they said that stuff falling back from that gun in Barbados killed a donkey. May not be true, but there's radiation. You're exposed to radiation, and then, as I mentioned, properties were damaged. These countries knew of the fallout, and they did not allow Bull to experiment on that particular ballistic gun, satellite, whatever it was he called it. They did not allow him to have that in their country. Now we're hearing that that gun rests, or whatever they have built because of what happened in Barbados. They, you learn from all experimentation. There's a bigger form of that now in Alaska, in a deserted area of Alaska. And what happens at Cape Canaveral, Florida is a very long state, so they have room enough to shake up certain areas. But for it to be in Barbados, I think that was not a good thing. But Barbadians at that time probably did not have a choice. It needed to be experimented. They needed to do what they needed to do. If it was sending satellites into space, or if it was testing how far up the firmament goes, whatever it was, it needed to have happened. It was not a failure. They would say, oh, it failed at whatever it wanted to do. No, there are no failures. You learn. Even if it didn't happen the way it should have happened, they learn from what happened in Barbados. It was a learning opportunity. Okay, we have Elon Musk now to show us where they learned from what Bull did, and Elon Musk has taken the reins, and he's sending things now into space. Now, Elon, I don't know if I said that Gerald Bull was assassinated in Belgium, but he did. He was assassinated in Belgium in 1990, but he was a brilliant man. Elon Musk now is a brilliant man, and all experimentation, you don't know. You don't know what they're doing when they send things into space, but we do know that all experimentation is going to take us to where we need to go. Sure, Veronica.